Welcome to Sexual Influence. This is going to be a 4-day workshop where I'm going to teach you how to sexually influence women. When we're talking about sexual influence, all we mean is like when you see a beautiful woman, your brain is instantly triggered for attraction and you're like, I want her, right? Well, sexual influence is going to teach you how you as a man can trigger a woman's brain so that when she lays eyes on you, she has that same instant reaction where she's like, oh, that's the guy I want. I'm attracted to him, and she's drawn to him. So we're going to spend 4 days together, and I'm going to teach you how to have sexual influence over women. If this sounds a bit shady, this is 100% founded on integrity and psychology, and it's nothing to do with manipulation. Once you learn how to trigger sexual influence in women, you will no longer be trapped in the friend zone, and you will force women to see you as a potential lover and not as just a friend. So, this workshop is for you if you want to be a guy that walks into a room and triggers attraction in multiple women. If you want to be one of the few men in a room that women notice and feel attracted to, and they think to themselves when they see you, that's a potential lover, and not just a nice guy friend. Here's another reason why you should watch this 4-day workshop. Whenever I share my sexual influence framework, guys tell me it opened their eyes, it gave them an epiphany, and it allowed them to see the game and women in a whole new way. So this sexual influence 4-day workshop is going to enlighten you. It's going to allow you to elevate your game, like fast forward years, and you're going to kind of like Neo in the Matrix, you're going to start seeing the code and understanding the game, and you're going to be able to tell like, oh, now I know why women have been ignoring me, or oh, now I know why I get stuck in the friend zone, or oh, now I know why women choose those bad boys over the nice guys. You're going to understand women's sexual psychology at such a detailed level that you're going to able to go in there and predictably trigger sexual attraction in women. So during this workshop, I'm also going to be using my laptop as reference. So in this 4-day workshop, you're going to learn a part of her brain called her sex brain and how to speak to it and use it to override her logic and speak directly to that part of her brain that's responsible for attraction. And you're going to learn how to speak to that special part of her brain that nice guys usually completely don't even speak to and miss. Okay? I'm going to talk about primal sexfluence, which is a specific language that is as real as the English language. And every guy that's successful with women unconsciously speaks primal sexfluence. And we're going to talk about primal sexfluence and how you're going to use that. And then what are the 2 things you need to offer her sex brain which will make her want you and choose you over other guys. And I'm also going to tell you about a 6-month program I have, which is called, I might change the name, but for now I'm calling it From Porn to Pussy, okay? Which means if you've had a problem with porn, I have a program for you where we're going to get you off of porn and actually getting real women. And in the process, you're going to get a new mindset. You're going to get a new sense of mental health, emotional health, and also a body transformation. So I'm going to talk about porn addiction, how to overcome it, and what I have to offer you. Okay, so I call this Sexual Influence Workshop Men's Ticket Out of Nice Guy Land for Good. After you learn what's inside this workshop, you'll never be able to go to nice guy or friend zone ever again. So with that, let's get into it. Okay, so we want sexual influence over women. Sexual influence happens in the brain. So we're going to start by doing some brain study and understanding how a woman's brain works and how her sexual brain works, what I call her sex brain. There's a specific part of a woman's brain called her sex brain. You need to know where it is, how to talk to it, and what it responds to. So, when I was studying marketing, I accidentally learned something that helped me understand the psychology of women. So I was studying this marketing course, and the guy presenting it presented something called the triune brain theory. The triune brain theory is a theory created by Dr. Paul MacLean. So the triune brain theory states the following. He states that our brains are actually formed three brains, one on top of the other. So our brain is actually three brains formed one on top of the other. And you have the smaller brain, the middle brain, and then the largest brain. The smallest brain was formed first, and he calls this the lizard brain, okay? The smallest brain was developed first. It's because, we were reptiles first or whatever. So the reptilian brain. On top of the reptilian brain grew the mammalian brain, okay? This is mammals, right? So then you have the second layer is the mammalian brain. And then the third layer on top of that is the neocortex, okay? So we're going to talk about what each of these brains are, and then we're going to break it down further to what brain you need to speak to, how you need to speak to it, how it triggers the sexual attraction response in women, and so forth. So let's start from the oldest brain. So the oldest brain is your lizard brain, right? And the lizard brain is concerned with the primitive lizard stuff, such as domination, survival, sex, okay? That kind of stuff, survival stuff, right? Sex and reproduction, basically. Reproduction and survival, sorry, okay? And then on top of that is your mammalian brain. Just put simply, your mammalian brain is more concerned with emotions, right? Like dolphins, they have a highly developed mammalian brain. They're very intelligent, emotional intelligence, all that stuff. So you have your mammalian brain. And then finally, your newest brain is the neocortex. The neocortex is basically the human thinking brain, okay? That is the brain that only we humans have. We're able to think, to imagine, all that stuff, right? And our newest neocortex is the newest brain and is the most sophisticated brain, okay? So, first takeaway, when you're talking to a woman, you need to look at her as having three brains, not one, okay? That's hint number one. The second thing is, if you want to cause attraction in women, then you need to know which brain to communicate to. The reason why the majority of guys do not succeed with women is because they're speaking to the wrong brain. All right? So what most guys do is they take a logical approach, a very evolved approach, using their neocortex, right, which is the newest brain, and they start talking to her neocortex, right? And they're thinking, hey, I'm such a good stand-up, honest guy, I would be such a good logical choice. Why doesn't your neocortex choose me? Because that would be the logical decision. It turns out sexual selection is not a logical process. It is not done with the neocortex. We do not select our sexual partners using our most advanced brain. So which brain does select our sexual partners? I think you can guess. The brain that's concerned with sex, survival, domination, your lizard brain. So when the guy with the neocortex being all logical and I'm nice and I'm this and I'm that, he's talking to her neocortex, he's not talking to her lizard brain. If you want to trigger attraction in women, you need to talk to the lizard brain, not the neocortex or the mammalian brain. Now I'm oversimplifying this because of course there's going to be overlap, but let's just keep it as simple as possible for now. The simple explanation is, if you want the lizard brain to choose you as a sexual mate, you need to talk to the lizard brain. Now here's another thing. The lizard brain speaks a different language than the neocortex, okay? We're going to take out the mammalian brain for now because, again, we're just going to simplify, okay? We're going to reference most of the time lizard brain, neocortex. You can always remember lizard brain, mammalian brain, neocortex on top, right? So, in order for you to catch a woman's sexual attention, you need her lizard brain to pay attention and say, oh, okay, there's a potential mate. So, you need to speak to her lizard brain what I have dubbed her sex brain. Okay? So you need to understand the first thing, triune brain theory. When you look at a woman, you look at her not as having one brain, having three brains. The lizard brain, the mammalian brain, the neocortex. And you need to know, okay, I know that the part of her brain that chooses me as a sexual mate isn't her neocortex, it's the lizard brain. So me, as an intelligent seducer who knows what he's doing, I need to trigger the lizard brain and not worry so much about the neocortex. Once you have this understanding, now you're set up for sexual influence, and now you're set up to not be so frustrated all the time. Hey, why don't girls pick me? I'm the good logical choice. Logic has very little to do with it, my friend. So let's talk about this lizard brain for a second, aka her sex brain. What are some interesting qualities to know about this brain? Well, the lizard brain is instinctual. Okay? It is instinctual, it is impulsive. What does impulsive mean? To do something without thinking, to do it quickly. Okay? When you, and remember, you have a sex brain too. We all have lizard brain. We all have lizard brains. So, let's go back to something we can all relate to as guys. You're sitting there minding your own business, talking to your buddy Stefan about the game you saw last night, and then a beautiful woman walks by. And instantly, mid-conversation, we're like, oh my God, right? And then the conversation's interrupted, right? What happened there? Our lizard brain hijacked us and instantly, instinctually, reflexively, impulsively, that's the word I was looking for, boom, starts checking out the girl, right? Impulse. So you're not like, let me think about logically to go and look at this girl because she's hot and she's passing by. No, you're looking at her before you're even consciously aware that you're looking at her. Here's another example. One funny thing that I noticed is that, well, you all know, like sometimes we men, we get in trouble with our girlfriends because we're with our girlfriend, and then we check out a girl, and then our girl gets mad at us and like starts punching us on the shoulder and stuff like that, right? Well, I observed myself when that happened, and what I realized was that I know better not to do that, but I was looking before I was consciously aware that I was looking, which means my lizard brain hijacks me, and I'm looking before I even consciously, my neocortex picks up that I'm looking. And that's why I get in trouble, because it's like I didn't even, had the time to think that look, don't look, all that. It's like I'm already looking. Okay? We'll connect this with scientific studies. Okay? This is from a book, Predictably Irrational. Okay? So studies showed that they took a group of people and they had those people make decisions. And then they asked those people, hey, why did you make this decision? And then the people came back with a rational explanation. Oh, well, I chose the strawberry over the banana because of this. Oh, well, I chose to pick up the green block instead of the blue block because of this, etc., right? Well, then they went back to the brain scans. And what they found is that those people actually had made a decision before they were even consciously aware of the fact that they had made the decision. Let's say that again. The people had made their brains had made the decision before they were consciously aware that they made that decision. Translation: their lizard brain told them what thing to pick up, and then, okay, so let me say it like this. The way the brain works is that the lizard brain makes a decision first, and then it sends that message up through the mammalian brain to the neocortex. So there are milliseconds between the lizard brain chooses, and then it lets the neocortex know, hey, this is the choice. So coming back, these people thought that they made a choice, but really what they were doing was backward rationalizing a choice that was already made instinctively by their lizard brain. So coming back to me checking out a girl, it's like the lizard brain told me to look at that girl before my neocortex even knew what was happening. So this is going to factor in later for you causing that snap attraction in women. So with this knowledge of how the lizard brain works and how it kind of overrides the neocortex, this can be very powerful in the game of seduction. Why? Well, if I know how to trigger her sex brain, then have her sex brain choose me. It will then send a message up and basically send a command up to her neocortex and say, hey, choose this guy. But she's not going to understand that. She's going to think, oh, I made the rational decision to choose this guy. No, you didn't. We triggered your sex brain, and your sex brain saw potential mate, and your sex brain sends a message up. Again, men and women, this happens the same, okay? Sends a message up and says, this is a potential mate, choose this mate, okay? Or at least set this mate up to be one of the choices, basically. So I hope you see the profundity and the power in what we're starting to talk about here. So all this brings us, so I can tell you one thing. If the lizard brain is the one choosing first, the lizard brain is the one that chooses and sends up the message. If the messages travel this way, not this way, right? It says, attraction triggered, send up, potential mate. That means the lizard brain is in charge. Okay, we'll stop and we'll say that again. The lizard brain is in charge. When it comes to the sexual selection of mates, the lizard brain is in charge. You want proof? All the guys are complaining. Hey, Jad, I'm such a good guy. Why are these beautiful quality women going after these jerks and assholes that are toxic for them? That's so stupid. That's so illogical. That's so irrational. Yes, it is irrational. It is not a rational, sexual mates are not a rational choice. Attraction, is not a rational choice. Those women chose, those women's lizard brains chose those bad boys and jerks because those bad boys and jerks triggered something in their lizard brain, and their lizard brain gave her a command, hey, this guy's sexy, let's go after him, okay? Now, there are a few side notes to this, because if we took it this simply, that would imply that women are completely victims to their lizard brains, and then every time they were turned on by a guy, even if he was toxic, they go after him. That's not the case, right? Another thing that happens is for a different workshop, but let's just get it out, is that a woman can feel attraction for a guy. Her lizard brain is going to send that message up to her neocortex. The woman's going to be like, oh, that guy's so sexy, but he's toxic. I've already been in toxic relationships. Okay. And then she can make a rational choice. Okay, no. And she can choose not to be with him. But, listen to me, what I'm about to say. But she still can't choose not to be attracted to him. So she can choose not to pursue him, but her pussy's still wet for him. You see what I'm saying? So this workshop is just about how do you get a woman seeing you as a sexual mate? How do you trigger her sex brain so that it says, wow, that guy's sexy, I want him. That's all we're talking about here. We're not going to go into depth of what happens further or how, all that other stuff. It doesn't matter for us for the sake of this workshop. So if we stopped right here, you would already understand female sexual psychology 90% or more than most guys on the planet. But this is just day one. I got a lot more coming, so stick with me. So here's a phrase that's going to help you remember that you need to speak directly to her sex brain and ignore her neocortex, okay? I call it only talk to the man in charge. Only talk to the man in charge. Who's in charge? You should know the answer. Lizard brain. Neocortex, not in charge. Lizard brain's in charge, right? So just picture this. Have you ever been on the phone with a customer service agent and you're asking them to do something and they're like, oh, sorry, sir, I can't, I'm not really. And then you get frustrated and you're like, oh, can you please let me talk to your manager. Okay, let me talk to somebody in charge, please. Because you want to talk to somebody in charge who has the power to make things happen, right? To make decisions, okay? So I want you to picture when you're talking to a woman, you got to be thinking, okay, let's talk to the man in charge here. Let's skip over the neocortex. Let's skip over the mammalian brain. My focus is to trigger her sex brain so that it tells her neocortex to be interested in me sexually. And then from there we can proceed. So the rule of attraction is always talk to the man in charge. Always talk to the brain in charge. Always only talk to her sex brain. In day 2 of the workshop, I'm going to go into detail why women choose the bad boy over you and what shifts you can make so that women start choosing you as one of the bad boys, but how to be a bad boy without being a toxic guy or without doing. You can still be yourself and have bad boy qualities and not be toxic and have women choosing you. Plus, the 2 specific things you need to communicate in order to trigger her sex brain. So, we start off with this. Porn is bad for you. Porn is dangerous. Okay, if you didn't know that, I'm letting you know, because a lot of guys think it's not that bad, it's harmless, whatever. Second question. You may be thinking, oh, am I addicted? I don't think I'm addicted. If you're watching porn twice or more a month, you should be concerned and you should listen to everything I'm about to say. So, there are study after study after study coming out that about the damages of porn. It damages you mentally. It damages your ability to stay positive. It damages your ability to think clearly. It ruins your motivation. It destabilizes you emotionally. It brings on anxiety, social anxiety, depression, isolation. One of the worst side effects is you stop being able to get an erection. The bad list just goes on. The side effects just go on and on and on. And what's so dangerous about porn is that you feel like it is not doing anything bad to you. In fact, you think, hey, it's helping me. A lot of you guys probably think, hey, you know what? I'm single, so yeah, watch a bit of porn, fair enough. No, it's not fair enough. You're fucking yourself. You're damaging your psyche. You're damaging your emotional intelligence and balance. You're damaging your confidence, and you're on your way to damaging your penis and having it not work anymore. So you really got to listen to what I'm telling you here, because your health is at risk at all these levels. So each day on this 4-day workshop, I'm going to talk a bit about the dangers of porn, the side effects, and I'm going to tell you how you can start moving away from that and getting over the addiction. So addiction means something that you cannot stop, something you're dependent on. Now, if you're someone who only watches porn 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a month, you may think, this isn't for me. Yeah, that's a lot. That's still too much. Okay? You're on your way down a slippery slope. You need to be ideally clean, or for me, I think clean or watch porn once a month. Anything other than that, then it's kind of going to be sneaking into your life. So let me give you a quick preview of the program I've put together. I've put together a 6-month one-on-one intensive where we're going to take you and free you of porn completely, cure your addiction, and transform you in the following ways. At the beginning, you're going to be somebody who watches porn, has social anxiety, doesn't really go out, isn't really getting dates, all that stuff, right? At the end, you're going to have a fit body. You're going to be eating super healthy. You're going to feel beautiful and amazing. You're going to have emotional balance. You're going to have mental strength and winner mindsets, okay? You're going to be good with women. You're going to be regularly socializing with women in a confident manner. And you're going to have, did I say you're going to have a beautiful body? You're going to have a beautiful body, and you're going to be free of porn. So this 6-month program is where I'm going to hold you to the highest standard. And like I said, from porn to pussy. Okay, I want to take you from being like this, right? Like this, porn, right? To pussy, having pussy, having women in your life, having sex with real women. Imagine that. Okay? So this is a high-level program because I'm going to be there holding you accountable and bringing the 10.0 version of you out. I'm going to help you with your addiction. I'm going to help you clean up your food. I'm going to help you get into a You're going to have a daily ritual, a daily process. You're going to be working out. You're going to be feeling amazing. You're going to be the guy you've always wanted to be. And I'm going to call you out and be there every step of the way for 6 months. So at the end of the 6 months, you're going to be unrecognizable to the man you started as on all levels, internally, externally. And that is what I'm excited to offer you this month. Now, since this program is so intensive and I'm going to be there right there with you with extreme accountability, making you disciplined and all that stuff, I can only support 2 guys in this program. So this is available only February 2023. If you're interested, you don't have to wait till the end of these 4 days. You can book a call here or here and we can talk for 15 minutes and see if this is something we want to explore further. And what this program is going to do is it's going to elevate you like nothing else. I have never had such an advanced program put together where we're going to get your fitness in check, we're going to get you off porn, we're going to fix your emotional, mental states, and we're going to get you good with women all together in one. You're going to be living this disciplined, beautiful life. I'm going to be holding you to that extreme accountability. It's going to be an amazing, beautiful butterfly transformation. You're going to come out the other side unrecognizable. So if that excites you and you want to inquire, you just want to talk about it, book a call here or here, wherever the link is. We'll talk from porn to pussy, 6-month intensive, extreme accountability. You will become that disciplined 10.0 successful version of yourself that you deserve to be. I believe you deserve beautiful women in your life. You deserve to live a life free of porn and other addictions, such as junk food or whatever other vices you have, Netflix, video games, all that stuff. Gaming, I'm not saying gaming is bad, but used in the wrong way, it could be bad, and bring you to that 10.0 version of yourself. You deserve that. This is an opportunity for you to elevate to that 10.0 and have your brother Jad be there as your militant accountability coach and mentor to make it happen. So if that excites you, click the link, book a free call, and we'll discuss to see if it's a fit. I'm not going to guarantee that I can accept anybody because I'm going to have to see if you fit the qualifications that I believe that you can also make it. All right. So give me a call. We'll talk and we'll go from there. So that's it for day 1. Thanks for joining. Make sure you join day 2, where we're going to talk about why women choose bad boys. What are the specific 2 things you need to communicate to her sex brain so that it pays attention to you and chooses you, and a whole bunch of all other stuff. By the time I'm done with you in the sexual influence workshop, you're going to understand women better than 95+% of men, and you're just going to go in there and you're going to kill it. Thanks for watching. Recommend this workshop to your friends. I'll see you in the next.